Martin comes out first. Mark Martin and Kyle swap a spot. Look at Paul Menard taking 2 tires. We'll find out if they work now, even better. And he picks up 15 spots. So while they get back on the racetrack, we'll step aside for just a few minutes with Jimmy Johnson, the race leader. He's led a total of 10 laps.
In the land of stars and cars, Southern California, race 4 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Some of the championship stars have had some issues today. Jimmy Johnson, a minor one, some debris on the grill. Greg Biffle, a major one. Engine failure. He is out of the race early on in the going here in California. Our race reset as we get set to go. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the leader, the only guy not to pit under this caution flag. Highest running chaser is Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy has just slipped up to second spot for this restart because one of the guys who didn't pit just pitted, so that's why you see Jimmy on the front row there inside of the screen. And lowest running chaser will be Greg Biffle, right now shown in 40th and out of the race. And we ask you to go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear is the official tire of NASCAR. Well, everyone except Dale Earnhardt Jr. just stopped and took on some fresh tires under this caution. And I have a feeling the guy at the front of the pack is going to feel a little bit like the Lone Ranger. And not riding off into the sunset at the end of this picture. Because he's going to be the only one out there on the older tires. And Jamie McMurray, way in the back, lost a number of spots on pit road. He had looked like the air hose snagged on the front of the car, and they had to come back around and unhook it before they could go back racing. Speaking of going back racing,
Kyle Busch is going for the lead early. Oh, and problems for the 99, the second Roush Fenway car. Carl Edwards coming to a stop in turn 4. He won't even make it to pit in, and the caution is out.
For us. We're stopped.
It's going to be a nightmare getting these cars lined back up. They were about 4 wide all the way back.
The question now is what happened to Edwards? Biffle's already lost an engine. Could the same problem be affecting the 99? Doc, what are you hearing?
Make sure he knows you need a push.
As they were coming to the restart, Carl Edwards said the car has fuel pressure, just not running well. It's sputtering. They were talking about possibly a vapor lockage. You look at Jack Roush there and Bob Osborne. They told Carl, switch to the backup ignition. Maybe that will fix it. He switched it. The car shut off, and there he sits with the caution again. So trouble for another chaser here, Carl Edwards.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if they can diagnose it, get him back out, but he is already going to lose a lap. And this is going to be very costly to their championship hopes.
Any vapor lock's not something you hear a lot about anymore this day and time. You don't, but I mean, it is a possibility.
I think that there could be a fuel issue. It just stuck fuel in.
You hear the team trying to diagnose the situation. What this does to Roush Fenway if they cannot get this car refired, getting back out there quickly.
About water in the fuel, you know.
Their championship hopes take a serious hit. All right, we were talking about what happened to Jamie McMurray, our race pole sitter, and he is well back in the field, shown in 25th right now. Dave, take us back through what happened on the pit stop.
Yeah, Marty, we'll hopefully get a look at the replay here of the one car pitting. And this is a situation where, you expect a fairly standard stop as they were going to work on the right side and then finishing up there. The NASCAR official steps into the lower left-hand part of the picture. He watches a tire changer put the wheel back on, and then he starts waving, no, you've missed a lug nut. You'll be penalized if you leave. So crew chief Bono Mannion says, you know what, while we're here, let's put a spring rubber in the left rear. Let's work on the car a little bit more and fix that loose race car, but it cost him a ton of time.
And as we said, Jamie McMurray back in 25th position, and at the beginning of the broadcast, pit stops are showing.
Well, I mean, everybody down there is so competitive, right? I mean, it's just 12 sub 13-second stops that last round by quite a few teams. I mean, maybe the top 7 or 8 cars.
Right as we went back to green, we did not get to tell you, it was Juan Pablo Montoya who did get the lucky dog. That put him back on the lead lap. Right now we have 30 cars on the lead lap, and now Travis Kvapil gets the lucky dog on this one. So there is the work going on. Carl Edwards is Right now, it's been a very bad day for 2 out of 3 of the Roush Fenway cars. Stay with us. We'll come back. Welcome back to the Pepsi Max 400 at California. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. Let's reset it for you. Kyle Busch is the race leader, our 6th different leader. We've had 7 lead changes. Alongside will be Jimmy Johnson. Kyle's going to take the low line. And it's Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Paul Menard up into 5th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 6th. Newman, Boyer, Denny Hamlin 9th. Matt Kenseth rounds out the top 10. And we're back to green flag racing. Here we go, 3 wide.
Didn't take long.
And 4 wide, even further back. Gordon trying to make it work down low. Johnson gets a great run on the outside. He's going to get back into the lead. Whoa, he gets loose. Newman coming up strong on the inside. Also, Denny Hamlin a little bit further back. There's Hamlin with Tony Stewart in tow.
Well, what a great run Denny Hamlin's made from the back of this pack. Got himself in a position to do extremely well today. Here's a battle for the lead.
Kyle Busch takes a peek, decides better of it. He'll fall back in line. Get ready for him to dive down into 1, though. He's been running that low line. 3 wide back further. There's Tony Stewart going around Hamlin. That's Casey Kane on the high side.
Yeah, looks like Tony's worked on his car and made it a little more racy today. He wasn't very happy with it in practice yesterday.
Going to go 3 wide again. Thought better of it. Casey Kane, number 9, pulls up behind Matt Kenseth. Here comes Hamlin. He wants another piece of the 14, and he's going to get it. He's side by side with him. There's A.J. Allmendinger. First time we've seen him today. Casey Kane on the high side of this, 3 wide again as they come out of 4. Let's get an update on Tony Stewart. Jamie?
Well, they started out way too tight. Then they over-adjusted and made it loose. Now the car is just right. Tony said, this car has come around. I am one happy camper. Dave?
Denny Hamlin's car just a little bit loose right now. Crew Chief Mike Ford told me this morning that we think we have the, if not one of the best cars here today. In practice, it was a matter of learning to work every line, make sure he can go everywhere so he can run where they are not as he comes from the back. Don't forget, he started, there it is, well, restarted 10th. He started the day on 42nd position, so he made up a lot of spots.
Yeah, the only people he's going to encounter down there on that apron are ones that having real problems going to the garage or something. So he's definitely running where they're not. But I watched this car yesterday in practice and was very impressed with Denny Hamlin and the way this race team went about making this car better throughout the weekend.
Still side by side with Casey Kane. Right behind is Kevin Harvick as he's trying to tuck up and get back into that battle as well. On board with Kevin Harvick. Things have sort of calmed down, at least for the moment. Battle for second. You got Jeff Gordon and Kyle Busch. You see the margin from first place, Jimmy Johnson on back. Gordon clears by about, a car length and a half. There's Ryan Newman now as he's rebounded well. Let's get an update on the 99 in the garage, Doc.
They were trying to decipher if it was ignition or fuel. Now, they checked the coil and distributor. They do have spark. Now they think it's going to be the fuel pump, so they're going to change the fuel pump and the fuel cable that goes in the back of the car to the front, and hopefully that will fix the problem. But meanwhile, Carl's sitting in the garage while we're under green on the racetrack.
And right now shown in 36th position, and he is in some serious trouble as far as the points are concerned while this race out on the track continues. Side by side, Mark Martin and the 39 of Ryan Newman. Here we go. Got Joey Logano, Sam Hornish, the 19 of Sadler. High side is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Look out, Marcus Ambrose with Jamie McMurray right on his back bumper.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation being there. They all handled that extremely well. You see Dale Jr. really fighting this car. Everybody else has a lot fresher tires than what he does.
Yeah, he's back to 27th position. That's how deep this field is right now with the side-by-side racing. Here we are still 3 abreast further back in the field.
I still don't understand the decision not to put tires on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car. That kind of would have been a no-brainer, I would think, the way the tires fall off here.
Let's get an update from pit road, Jamie.
Well, you guys are right. You can imagine the driver wasn't too happy. Dale Earnhardt Jr. kind of going back and forth with Lance McGrew as crew chief, thinking that was the wrong decision to stay out. They thought, hey, we had 6 laps on these tires. But guys, he dropped like a rock, like you said. Restarted 6 all the way back, and he continues to fall back. Marty.
Sam Hornish Jr. right in front of him. He is running 27th right now on the racetrack.
There's some tracks you can get away with that, but this is not one of them. Tires fall off way too much during the run to stay out there, even with 6 laps on them.
It's not the way he wants to celebrate his